Good after, is it afternoon or evening? Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we all had a restful weekend. Hope we did something productive over the weekend. In fact, I saw everybody yesterday. Why am I asking if we did something productive? There were assignments, so if you did your assignment, that's some contribution to your activity. Um, okay. So one second. Let me try sharing my screen so we can look at some of the submissions we saw from yesterday to today. So if you have not submitted your assignment, you can still submit. We just will not be able to look at it live in class and give you feedback. But I'm going to leave the link open for anyone that still wants to submit, and I'll go through it and see just to get a sense of what your improvement is like. Okay. So just bear with me. Let me try and join the class on my phone so we can go through the slides. Okay. All right. So this is today's presentation. So mostly we'll be looking at the assignment from yesterday and then covering some new concepts that I want to introduce, which would be very, very helpful for some of the things we'll be doing going forward. Because like I had said, I think that was last class or two classes ago. What we'll be doing, see from next week, is we would be looking at some designs, some maybe really complex designs, and then seeing how can we recreate them in Canva. Doing that will help us learn the different ways that we can achieve really good design, and also learn how to like keep a template that we can use to improve our brand. So I'm going to be teaching you how to design templates for your brand, so like how to structure your workflow, because it's important that you keep all of your elements in a way that whenever you need them, you're able to like go where they are. So you don't have like different things in different files, and then you are struggling for this thing I did. Where is it? This the elements I used last time that I really liked. How do I recover it? Okay, so let's dive into today's content. So today, some of the things we'll be looking at social media graphics that we had started yesterday. So we had planned to redesign some two elements from two designs yesterday. So we'll back into that today and continue with that. We'll also be looking at some new concepts like grouping elements, locking elements, copying the style of elements. I'll show you like a very, very quick, like nifty way of just anything you've done on your page. If you want to copy the style that maybe like a text or a font has, you can just do that very quickly without going through all of the steps of opening your elements, opening fonts, and all of that. We'll also be looking at templating logos. We'll also be looking at how do we create templates for our footers. So, for example, if you want to create like graphics that have something like you always want to put your Instagram handle, your phone number, and your logo at the bottom of all of your designs. So there's a very, very easy way that you can just template that, group it together. So you can just copy it and paste it in any design. So that way you don't leave out anything. So you don't leave out important things like your contact information, something like that. So that way all across all of your designs, no matter what you're designing, you always have something like that. And then we'll also of course look at the graphic design tool of the week. Today's one is also something really interesting that could be very helpful for helping you find elements that Canva is asking you to pay for. So basically, that's it. Okay, so assignment review. This is the design that we wanted to recreate, and I have to say that the elements that I saw is making me want to just reduce the time of this class to like 30 minutes, because I feel like a lot of people have become really good, like experts in using Canva. Really, I was really proud of the designs that I saw. In fact, there was someone that did like an exact replica of this design. So it's really encouraging to see the progress that you have all made in the course of this training. So congratulations all around on that. We'll be looking at some of the designs, and I'll be giving feedback just like we did yesterday before we dive into the second design. In fact, after seeing the submissions from yesterday, I was thinking maybe I should have given the second design that was a little bit more complex, so that way at least people will have struggled, because if it looked like something people just absolutely just did very, very easily, and it's very, very good to see the progress from the class. So again, really proud of all the work you are doing. Thank you for people that have been submitting assignments. It's always good to get feedback like that. So before we get into the submissions, does anyone want to, like, maybe there was a challenge, maybe there was a part of the assignment that you did not understand, or maybe you struggled with something particularly, maybe the background, because that was where I saw a lot of variety. Or maybe there's anything you want to share about your experience with creating this design. So I just want to create the opportunity for anyone to come and talk about their process of designing it, how they came about, like, completing their design. Does anybody want to do that? Okay, so it seems everybody's con. Okay, so Akunle, former Laura, Godwin.
Good afternoon.
Oh, hi,
Yeah.
uh, Laura. So can you just walk us through your process of how you completed the design? Let me see if I can open what you did. Um, sorry, did you submit?
Yes, I did submit, but I submitted today, this afternoon.
Maybe my slide was ready you before you completed your before you made your submission.
Oh, okay. It's just a
Just hold
question
on.
I
Let me see
wanted.
if I can share from my laptop. So just hold on. Okay, you have
Okay.
a question.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
You
I'm
see
listening.
this wavy element, the place where they wrote a Panarotis pizza and
Is that
pasta, right? The
mm,
wavy shape, I wanted to change it to white because the shape on the
okay?
Canva, the one I saw on Canva was pink, but it wasn't giving me the color option. So I
That you
just had
want?
to
Okay,
improvise and use effects. So that was what I did.
okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to just ask how would I change it to white since it was not.
So, the problem is that with Canva, there are some elements that if you select, even though they are free, they will not allow you change color. So the easiest thing to do would just be to select another one. So instead of um, if you pick an element, for example, and then you go to, it doesn't bring up color, the option to change the color. Just find another element, another something similar from elements, and then just pick that one. So that way, that one might allow you change color, change add effects and things. So that's really what I would say would be the best thing to do in that situation, right? Okay, so I'm joining back now so we can see my audio. But in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen from my from my phone so we can open Canva and recreate designs. Okay, can we see my screen? Hi, Godwin, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So these are some of the submissions I had before I completed my presentation, because I like having things ready before the class starts. So I saw that from the submissions now that I missed like one or two submissions that came in later. So apologies for that if I don't have your assignment on my slides. But anyway, to the ones we have here, so there's one from Ola Dende Fumilayo, and this one was made. It's I like the picture of the girl you used here, and then the background. I don't know, is this person online, Fumilayo? If Fumilayo is online, can you just send a reaction, maybe raise your hand so we can. I just want to have some questions around
This meeting is being recorded.
how you came across, how you completed the background for this graphic.
Oladinde, are you relying?
Yeah, she is. Okay,
Okay.
can you bring her up to the stage so we can just walk through?
oh, Sorry, we can't hear you. I think she's speaking, but we're not hearing her. Because I can see her
Oh,
mic.
okay.
Okay, go
Hello,
ahead.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I said I saw the background at Pinterest, so I was just searching for back to school
Oh,
background. So and I saw a
okay.
lot of background, and I like that one. So I chose the background and I reduced the transparency because it was actually like
Really
sharp.
busy.
So I have to like reduce the transparency.
Okay.
So yeah, and the picture also, I got the picture from Pinterest also. So it was actually
Okay.
2 pictures, but I tested it too. I see that the first one goes with the design. But my
Mm,
problem is because I was not at the class yesterday because
okay.
I was at work. So the problem is that cough, like the down part, I didn't get that part. So I just have to just use another design, just use another thing. I didn't get that cough. The cough, that's something like zigzag that at
The-
the down,
Yeah.
that white. Yeah, I didn't get that part. I just have to like just put it like that. Just
Do something
I was
there.
not at the class yesterday.
Okay. Okay, so that's still really good. But so the use of the finding a background and then finding a picture is really, it's like a really creative solution
Thank you.
to solving the design. So well done on that. So anyway,
Thank
so that, I think I realized some people might have done their own design. So it's really good to see that you found a way to like download the design. So that's really good. So to Ayontola, yeah, no, sorry if I am not pronouncing your name very well. It is not intentional. So for your design, I really like how I've noticed in your design you always try to keep it consistent with your business. So I understand that you have like a dry cleaning laundry kind of business. So I like the color, the blue background kind of, it brings to your mind like water and then cleanliness and all of that. I also like the underlining, the strike through effect that you did with the text. So like back to school and then you put laundry there. So maybe I imagine what you actually wanted to do here was to cancel school and then leave laundry. So to say back to laundry made easy. But still, it's a really nice design. The picture that I used is very, very sharp. I like the substitute, the washing machine cartoon thing that you added there. It's a really nice touch. Also adding like laundry elements with like clothing and things. So that is a very, very good design. In fact, it's like it's really well done. I like the font. I like I like so many things about this design. Also, your logo, your adding the contact us there. It's just a really well made design. So really nothing to criticize about this design at all. Okay, so to Chinaza is a I'm just going to Chinaza. So again, good picture, good font. I like the background also. I like the your ability to look for matching elements from the elements page with the trophy, with the like the test tube and all of that. Also, how did you find the tomato picture? Because I looked for this on Canva and I didn't see it. So that's a really, I don't know if you found it online or if it was on Canva and I missed it, but really well done with that. What I think the background is a little bit too light and it's kind of making the text a little bit hard to read. So maybe what I would suggest is if you have like something this light, maybe you can just add like a little bit of an effect. The effect might be something like a lift effect and it will help make your text more readable. Also, the picture of the child is really nice. I like the way you try to replicate the Panaroti logo. So that's well done. Now, there's this one from Blessing, also a really well-made design. I think the only thing here is just the text is too close to the border. So like this part, like if you can take it like a little bit away from the edge of the page, it would really make this design better. And also something I think it's important that we learn is when you're putting text at the edge of a page like this, so it's always important you make sure that the sides, the top and the sides, by that I mean, let me see if I can. So the space here and the space here, I hope you can see my drawing on the page. It's very important that you make sure that it's the same size. Let me undo this. So here and here. Always make sure that it's always the same size. So if Canva would guide you when you're using Canva, you would notice that when you are putting things to the edge, it will try to make it fit into the same size. So just make sure that there's the same space that you left up. Is that you left up is the same space that you're leaving on the side. That way, it just makes your designs look like more professional. Also, I think the spacing between the texts might be a little bit too much here. But other than that, I like the picture of the lady. I like how you've customized it to fit your own business. I like your logo. Your logo is really, really good. So that's really well done. I also like the cartoon lady here with the hair. So it's really good. And then for this one from Abdul Hafiz, so I saw that you submitted to one of them was like an exact replica of this particular design that we were going for. So well done with that. I imagine you either used remove backgrounds to get the picture of the lady there, and then you added your own background. Is Abdul Hafiz on the call so we can just talk and see how they did it? Is Abdul Hafiz on the call? Okay, let's see. I know we've had like network issues the last time we tried to bring you up. Godwin, can you please try bringing
Yes,
Abdul
sir.
Hafiz?
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, hi, good afternoon. Finally.
Thank God you can hear me this time.
Okay.
All right. So, sir, for the designs, I used two resources you gave us. Then I used the remove background. Then I used the upscale to increase the quality to meet up with the design, and then do other things.
Okay.
Yes,
so like for the one I know, for the first one that you sent where it was like an exact replica of the design, how did you get? So you removed the background of the original image, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then I increased the quality.
Okay. What of the like the green background? How did you achieve that?
I did this
your
myself.
own or?
I use the green background, then get the icons, then put it on this, and then reduce the transparency of each icons.
Okay, so that's really well done. Well done on really well done work. All right, thank you. So moving on to the last person here, Praise Babat Lola. Again, another really okay. So I was saying about this design. It has the the picture here is really good. I like the. In fact, it's like another really good design. I was thinking maybe you could have made the text like a little bit more like add like a little bit of more effect. But I can see that you're using the lift effect here. Maybe just increase it a little bit so that it's a little bit more differentiated from the background. I think that would be something that would just help this design. But still, without doing any of that, it's still a great like attempt at the homework. So what I'll be doing for the benefit of people that were not able to attempt the assignment, maybe they couldn't find a way to do it, or maybe because of time or whatever. I'm just going to replicate this design so you can just get a sense of how we can achieve it. Okay, so let me just open Canva here so we can see how to go about this design. Or in fact, you know what, for the sake of time, maybe I'll just start with the second design so we don't get so we can at least I think so since a lot of people were able to attempt this, I'm just going to go on into the second design so we can like have done like a good portion of what we want to cover today by the end of the class. So if we have time, I can come back to this design and then we can complete it. Let me just see if I'm missing any questions. So there's a question here from Favor. Uh, sorry, Favor, please, if you can ask your question again because I went off and came back on, so all chats have gone missing. So if you can just ask your question again so I can come back to it. That would be very helpful. Okay, so the second assignment that second design that we are going to attempt is this one here. So now the complex thing about this design is how to fit in the pizza here to layer it on the phone, and then the maybe something else that might be a little bit more complex here is the background, this green thing here. So basically, we'll be attempting to do this in preparation for this recreation of this design, I have downloaded some pictures of pizza because I imagine that you all know how to do some of the finding pictures and then removing the background of pictures. So I don't want us to spend too much time doing all of that. So I have downloaded the pictures that I'm going to need for this design. All I'm just going to show you is how to layer it, and then you can just see my process of like achieving this design. Maybe you can get like a might be helpful for you in just you might learn a little bit of one or two things about my personal workflow. Okay, so Favor is saying the question is how the background of the first design was gotten with the elements on the green background. How was it achieved? And creating the logo too. Okay, so maybe the best way to answer this question is to bring up someone that did it so they can talk about how they achieved it, and then I can like maybe add anything. There's something that is missing in their response. So let me see who can I bring up that did a really good job. So for the first design, I think say for example Chinaza. Have I heard from Chinaza in a while? I want to speak with someone I haven't spoken to, someone that hasn't. Is Blessing on the call?
I've been first to use another name. I cannot find any blessing here.
Okay, there's no Blessing. Blessing is on the call. Let's see. Aboyeji, is Aboyeji on the call?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Aboyeji, are you able to come on and then just answer Favor's question? So she's asking how was the background of the first design, like this background here with the green and then the small elements. How did we get it, and then we how like basically how did we get this green background, and are you able to just come up and then just talk about how you like got
I
your
don't
own.
understand your question, sir.
Okay, so the question from Favor on you can also read, like if you go to chats, there's a question from Favor Chuku. She's saying, how did we get this background? So I'm looking at your own design now. You have this green background, and then you have all of those small elements, the trophy, the spiral thing, the splash, and then this thing looks like a sciencey kind of thing. So like how did you achieve it? That's what Favor is asking. So if you can just walk through your process of getting this.
So what I did is that for the first time I chose my background, I went to color, then
Okay.
chose the green color.
Okay.
And after the green color, went to elements, searched for science laboratory instruments. So that
Okay.
was how I got the science this thing, the molecules.
Okay.
Then I searched for poly rope.
Okay.
The background I got it. I mean the images I got them
Hmm.
from Google. So I use remove background to remove the
The
background for
background.
the two image. Yes.
Yeah.
Then the tests I used the heading test. So
Okay.
then I used times for
Okay.
one for the back to then I use another one for that.
Okay.
Then the shape under the planetories, the
Yeah.
tests at that
Yeah.
shape side.
Yeah.
I use square. And I rounded the
Rounded
edges.
the edges. Yeah.
The edges is square. Then I
Oh.
duplicated it, then changed the color.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then
Okay.
I grouped the three of them together.
Yeah. So that's a very creative way of solving it. Okay, so I think your response has helped out understand better. So basically, it's the same way of selecting items together. Exactly. So that's it. It's the same thing we've been doing, just like layering things on top of each other. So all of these things are just put on top of themselves. There's the green, and then all of these elements there, and you just put the image, and then all right. So thank you very much, Aboyeji, for that really helpful answer. I'm going to go in and then so we can start on the second design that we want to do today. One second, let me open Canva. So this is the document I use for preparing um content for this class. So currently you can see that I have 122 127 pages on it. So
Godwin, sorry to interject.
okay,
So in the chat box, someone is asking about a logo class. I told them that you've already treated how to do logos.
okay.
Can you remember the exact module? Was it module one or two?
I think it was in module two, but I'll confirm. Just have them ask the question on the group so I can answer it,
Okay,
please.
all
All right,
right,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Okay, so as I was saying, sometimes your the number of pages you have on your designs can get really really big. So I just wanted you to see that it's very very normal for you to have one slide with this much content. Anyway, that's not the main thing. I wanted to open a new document so we can try and recreate this design. Hopefully, we do it before we run out of time because there's so much I wanted us to do today. Okay, so back to my free tier Canva account. Okay, we can continue with this what we did yesterday. Okay, so on the fresh page now. So like I had said, if you are recreating an image, I think the simplest thing to do is first of all just upload that image the same on the same document or the same file that you are working on. That way it gives you some advantages. You can import colors from that design. You can use the eyedropper to drop it anywhere and then just see what color are they using here. It also basically just makes things easy to look like back and forth between what you're trying to do and what you are working on. So that's what I am going to do here. I already have it uploaded on my Canva. So I'm just going to put it on the page. Right. Okay, so this is it here. So this is what we are trying to achieve. Looking at this, I imagine some of the things that would be difficult to do here is just this pizza phone thing here. Now, no, who is to say where they got this picture from? They might have gotten it complete like this from Google, but we'll try our best to try and replicate it as close as possible. But then, if you look at the layers that were here, you will see that this is not the first thing to start with. The first thing to start with will be the image here because it is the element that looks like it has the lowest that is lowest in terms of layers. So I am going to upload an image that I have downloaded already and uploaded on my Canva. So I'm going to be using this image. It's a picture of a family eating pizza. Um, so I expand it to look as close as possible to this. Actually, maybe something like this is better. Okay, so now we have a picture that is kind of similar to what we have. Also, as I'm designing this, if there's something I do that you don't understand, very, very happy to go back and answer questions. So you can always just call my attention to it. I'm going to be looking at the chat. Okay, now that we have this here, what is the next thing that we can focus on? So there are two things we can focus on. First, we can either focus on this part that says exclusive app deal, or we can focus on the green background thing here. So I think I'll be starting with the green part. Well, actually, I'll be starting with the exclusive thing. So that way I know that once I'm done with that part, I can focus on the bottom and complete my design. So what I'll be doing here is go to elements, look at shapes. Hopefully, I find something that's close enough to that. Um, Let me see. Okay, maybe I can make this work. All right, so I'll be using this. It's not the exact thing, but it looks close enough where it can be a substitute for it. So that drag it a little bit. Let me just expand it. Okay. So now this is where the eye color comes into play. So I can go here, click on this image, and then just go to um actually to colors. So I think the easiest way to do this is because there is no element on this page, I cannot bring up the color wheel. So I can just go here, put anything here at all. So like a circle here. Once I put up the circle, I click on the circle and then click on color. Now that I have clicked on color, I can just go to this color wheel here, click on this eyedropper, and then I can get the color that was used for this red background. So once I click on done, now I see that the color that was used is this B8282E. So now I just select that. With that selected, I go back to what I'm designing and then I can change the color. I just delete this and then I paste that color here. Okay, so we have that now. So the next thing to do is to put the font, the text that is here, exclusive app deal. So I'm just going to pick a font, anyone here at all. Okay, so let's see, it's written in white and then okay, go to format, make sure that it is formatted to the left so that way I have everything starting on the same line. Now all I have to do is just reduce the size and then fit it into the design properly. Okay, so now I see that there's the spacing between the text. How did you get the okay? So Clement is asking how I got the how did I use the color wheel to the eyedrop tool. Okay, so to get the eyedrop tool on Canva, you have to put an element on the page because that way it it brings up the color option. So what I did is I went to elements, you select anything at all. It doesn't have to be this and it could be a text that you put on it. What I'm trying to achieve here is to just bring up that color, the option to bring up the color wheel because you cannot do that on an image. And all we have on this page currently is an image. So I just select anything. So this triangle, for example, now that the triangle is there, if I scroll, you will see the color at the bottom here. Now, once I click on color, I click on this thing that looks like a color wheel that has a plus button. Once you click on it, it would bring up this page that has gradient and solid color. So you can just click on solid color. But then the important thing here is to just click on this thing that looks like a pencil. Once you tap it, you can move it around to wherever you want it. You can see that as I'm moving it around, it's showing the color that is behind it. So once that is done, I just press done, and then I would see if I come back to solid color here, it would show me the color that was selected. All right, thank you. Okay, so we can move back to our original design. So here, I think the font is really very not similar. So I'm going to try and change the font to something that is closer to what we have. I'm going to choose my favorite Montserrat font. And in Montserrat, I'm going to use something like extra bold, maybe even black. I think extra bold is fine. And then the next thing to do here is to reduce the spacing between the two texts. So you can just drag, if you drag it backward, it comes closer. You drag it forward, it expands. So I think this was about right for what we have in the design. Okay, I think it's even a little bit closer. So spacing, so there. So now that it's there, all I have to do is just center it. So expand and center. Now I just change the color to white. So it's not exact, it's not the same font, but it's pretty close enough to what we have. Now, if you are being like, if you want it to look exactly the same thing, you will spend time like looking at the design and things. Okay, so the next thing to do here is to focus on the green thing at the bottom before we get into that full. So I come here, I pick, let me see, what is the best shape to use here? So maybe like this pill shaped one might be what we can use, or a circle. So let's try this first. Okay. So now that we have this, we can reduce here and then expand it way too much, and then tilt it a little bit. Let me spread this. Okay, so this is close enough. We could also try the circle. Maybe let's try the circle and see. Although I'm very happy with this, but let's just see what the circle is also going to look like. So we can go here and click on the circle, and with that selected, okay, actually this circle might be better. So you just play around with the tilting, and then just till you get something you're happy with. So this is, I think this works too. Let me just make sure it covers all of the bases. So we have this. Now we see that the color we have here is looks like a gradient. So this part here is darker than the part at the bottom. So again, this is where we can use our color wheel to get the two colors of the gradient. So again, I click on my triangle, I click on the color wheel, click on this pencil, and once I click on done, now the top part 04004735 color. Please, if you are not getting what I am doing, please just leave me a comment in chat. I would explain anything. I'm going at this pace because I imagine we all understand how to do some of these things. So it's really just the process is what I'm trying to cover. Okay, so I come here, I click on color, I go to gradient. Now this gradient looks like really just play with it. Okay, so this kind of captures what we're trying to do. So first color is this, so I change it to what I copied. Okay, so now that top part has the green, and then again we use our color wheel again to get the color of the one at the bottom here. So that's this guy. So that 0 0. So now I've gotten the color for the other end of the gradient. Okay, so back to our design. I can just go in here and change this color. Okay, so that looks good already. It looks like the colors look like they match very well. Maybe the one here can be a little bit darker. So let's just make this a little bit darker. Now to make a color darker, you just have to drag it closer to the part that is black at the bottom. So maybe just drag it a little bit lower, and then it's as dark as I want it to be. So we've made really good progress on this already. All that is left to do now is to add that phone and then add the pictures of the pizza. Okay, so how do we do that? We go to elements here, and then we go to mockups, actually frames, and then we look for a phone. So let me just search for phone. Okay, now I don't see anything that looks like what we have on that picture here. So maybe let's just try mockups and see if we will find something better in mockups. So let's go to smartphone here and see if there's one that does a better job of representing that phone. Okay, so now I see this one here. This one looks closer to what we want, and I mean this one. So I select it, and then you use the tilt to like just make it um yeah. So I think that works. So this, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, right? Okay, so now at this point, we are really, really close to what we are trying to achieve. Now, this is the hard part in this design. It's um, changing the color of this the color of the screen, and then adding the two pizza images. That is the really hard part of this design. So how do we do that? Now there are two ways to go about it. First of all, you can either like just go to on a new page. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this red color. The easiest way to do it is just to upload a picture of this red color and then put it as the screen and then put the picture of the pizza. So that's what I'm going to do. Make a I'm just going to get what this red color is first of all, so that we stay consistent. Okay, I think it's this particular one here. It's the same red color like the one that we made on top. So I'm going to go to color. I still have it here. So with that done, I just download this image. So you click on download. So all I'm downloading now is this the third page that has, sorry, let me just confirm what page this is. So this is page 5. So I'm downloading only page 5 because I also want a picture of this color that I can put on the phone screen. So page 5, I go here, click on download PNG, um, current page 5, and then I just download it. So once it's downloaded, I can re-upload it and then use it as a picture for that will just cover the phone screen. And that way we've we fixed that the phone screen part. All we just have to do now is put the pictures of the pizza. So back to my design here. I go to uploads, upload files. So what I'm doing now is selecting that picture from my gallery. Are we still following? Just leave me a comment, leave like yes, I'm following, so I just know that you are still following what I am doing. Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so back here, I select that image and then I just put it on the phone screen. So give it a second. Oops. Okay, so we have a problem here. Very, very easy to fix. Let me show you how to fix that problem. So when you upload something and then it's showing only a small part of it here, you just double tap into it. Once you double tap, this was what we had before. So all I did was come here, expand it to fill the page. Now, once that is done, you just click on done, and that should fix our problem, hopefully. Okay, great. So our problem is fixed now. We have the red color. So what do we do now? Now in this part, this is a concept I'm going to introduce to you later in the class. But let me just show you now. Once you have, okay, let me show you why you need to do this first of all before I explain why. So if I put this picture of the pizza here, for example, and I put it over the phone, you will see that it will replace the picture that we have here. And we don't want, this is not what we are trying to achieve, because we want to put the picture of the pizza on top of that red color. So there's something you can do in Canva that is called locking. So you click on the frame that you're trying to lock, and then you click on these three dots and then you press lock. So now once it is locked, you can upload an image, and now you won't have that problem anymore. So this is something that is very, very important. How did you merge the red with the phone? Sorry, I didn't get it. Okay, so let me delete this and undo what I did. So to merge the red, so this is where we were. So Clement, what I did is, okay, I'll come back to lock favor. Let me just start with Clement's question about how did I merge the red with the phone. So now when we had, I imagine you know how to get a phone picture. I showed you how to get the picture of the phone and put it on the page. Thank you, Godson. Um, if you want to like put the red picture on the phone, what I did is, because I don't have, this is what we are trying to achieve. There's a red background on the phone, unless like the phone screen is showing red, and we need something to do that. The easiest way to do it, because this picture, this phone is a frame, all we just have to do is upload an image that is the red color. So what we did here is we got the red color from the phone. I showed you how to use the eyedrop picker thing. So you use it to get the color of this red. And then I created an image that is the exact red color. So once that was done, I downloaded this picture of this only this red image, and then I re-uploaded it. So this is it here. I uploaded it it's a picture now. So all I did was the same way you know how to use frames already. Abi Clement, you know how to use frames? Okay. Um, you know how to use frames. Oh, great. So you just upload it like it's just basically the same thing we've been doing all the while. You just upload a picture on top of a frame, and that way you have the red thing. Now, when you upload it, because the picture that we uploaded was a square, it cannot fit the page. So Canva is just going to put it here. How do you adjust that? What you do is you double tap sorry, you double tap the frame, and then it will bring you to this page where you can like adjust anything that is on top of a frame. So what I did is I just so this white thing here, this the white thing, and on top of the behind the red thing is the picture, is the how do I describe it? It's basically the phone screen. So now if you just expand it, it would fill the phone screen, and make sure you click on done. Once you press done, you just wait a little bit, and then you have the red color, right? Can't you put a square with a red color inside the frame instead of downloading and uploading? No, so you cannot put a red color because and now this is a little bit more complex than what I wanted to do in this class. There's something called like a there's a graph. So all of the things we are dealing with here are like graphics. They are not PNG or JPEG images. So basically, they are not. It looks like like it's an image here, but while it is on Canva, it's just software. Blah blah blah. It's not a picture right now until you download it. It is when you click on download that it turns to a picture, and you can only put a picture on top of a frame. That's why you cannot put the red square. So if, for example, now let me do it. I put let me undo what I did here. So for example, I go to elements, and I click on this, say maybe this one for example. So if I try to put it here, it would not fit this phone frame, because Canva does not recognize it as an image, and the only thing that can fit on top of a frame is an image. So basically, that's why we cannot do what you suggested. So back to what we had. Put this on top. Um, expand. Okay, so now that we have this, so Favor was asking how did I so let me go back to that question that Favor asked. So I'm trying to find the question Favor asked. Okay, locking the image again. Okay, so thank you. So how do you lock an image on Canva? Now you understand, I demonstrated why it is important to lock an image, right? Because if you don't lock an image and you put another thing on top, it will just replace it. So how you lock an image is you click on the image on the frame you are trying to lock. So what you do is you lock frames. You can lock any element basically. You lock it to its position. So when you lock it, it just keeps it where it is. It doesn't allow you make changes to it. So to lock, what you do is you click on what you're trying to lock, and you press three dots. So these three dots here is going to bring up this menu here where there's a lock thing. So you just click on lock. So now that you've clicked on lock, you are able to put any kind of image on top of this frame, and it will not replace what you already had there. Is that clear? Favor, do you understand how I locked now? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so now we have done the bulk of the work here. So all we have to do now is to crop the pizza, so it has like a flat edge that we can use to align here, which I imagine you already know how to do. So how do you crop? You click on the image, you click on three dots. Is there a crop option here? Okay, there's no crop option here. So how you crop is you just double tap any element. So once you double tap it, you will see the edges. It will have these, like the edges of the image will have this thing. So all I have to do is just shift this part here. So the part that is outside of this part that is highlighted is not going to be showing. So once I have done something like that, I just click on done. So now we have this thing with the edge that we can use. So now the work here now is to just fit it so it sits very well. So you just use this rotating tool here to just try and make it sit very well. Usually when I want to do something like this, I usually just zoom in so that way it's easier to, I think this works better. Okay, so I'm still going to rotate it a little bit more. Okay. All right, so this is great. So now we have the first part of the pizza log. I think let me just reduce the size. Let me see how big it is in the original picture. Okay, so it just comes out a little bit. So let me drag it down a little. Yeah, this is just me being a perfectionist. Don't mind me. I think this is fine enough, but I just want to make it as close as possible. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this works now. We have gotten the first pizza here, and then the second one, we are going to upload another picture here. All we have to do is the same thing. Okay, so now we see that this one, okay, it really, we just have to tilt it up this way, and then the same thing, tap in and crop. Sorry. So I crop it again. How do you rotate, please? Sorry, I wasn't looking at. So what if I want the pizza to look like it's deep? It's deep in the phone. Sorry, I'm coming. I'll respond to questions. So how do you rotate? Let me. I think that's an easy question to answer. So when you highlight on an element, you would see this thing that looks like a. It looks like two arrows at the bottom. Let me zoom in on it. So you see this thing at the bottom that looks like two arrows facing each other, like a circular thing. So once you click on it, if you move left, it will go left. If you move right, it would go right. So basically, that's how you rotate an image. So once you tap on it, once you just tap on it, you can just like turn it like that, basically. Okay, so the second one is how if you want the pizza to look like it is deep in the phone. Akune, please, can you like try the question because I don't understand what you mean. I imagine. Let me see. Let me see the original image. It looks like what we are doing. Just help me. Like I don't understand what you're asking. So if you can just help me rephrase the question so I can attempt to answer it. Okay, come again with the first pizza that I did. Okay, let me delete this. Um, and delete this. Okay, we know how we got here. So for the pizza, what we do is we select the image of the pizza. Now this picture of the pizza is already. So now we have a picture of a pizza. How do we make it so that it sits? Because what we are trying to do is we are trying to cut that edge so it looks like it is inside the phone, but it is extending. So basically, this is called like a 3D effect. Like it's inside the phone, but it kind of extends out. It makes it look like some fancy 3D thing. But all you have to do here is to give it a sharp edge that you can crop off. How do you do that? I know if everybody here is familiar with cropping, you crop your pictures on whatever social media platform you use. So how you crop on Canva is you double tap. Now once you double tap on an image, it will bring up this option. Now if you click the edges have this thing that looks like it looks like this. So just click on any part of it and just slide it in. So you see that as I am sliding, let me try and zoom in. As I am, oops, if I zoom in, it zooms in the picture and we lose some of it. You see, as I am sliding in now, there are some parts of the pizza that are like they are becoming like a little bit not, they're becoming transparent basically. It's like we're reducing the transparency. So those parts are not going to be showing. So once I'm cropped to where I'm good with, I just click on done. So now that I have clicked on done, I think this might be a little bit too much actually. Let's take it back a little bit. Okay, so now that I have clicked on done, all I have to do here is align it to sit well with the edge of the phone. Because if I leave it like this, you would see that it looks different from what they have here. So now, how do I do that? I just go into I zoom in a little bit to just give me like a like better visuals. And then once I come in here, I've shown you how to rotate. You just come here and then you rotate it so that it fits with the slant of the phone because this phone is slanted. So you have to slant your pizza again so it fits into what you're doing. So now that we have it here, we can come here. So this part is really depending on how perfect you want it to be. I think this is fine. So once it's here, something I can do again is I can lock this picture of the pizza so I don't mistakenly move it. So I come here, I lock it. So now we have picture one, how to make the shadows underneath the pizza so it gives the pizza a different feel. Okay, if it's the shadows, let me unlock. If it's the shadows that you're talking about, it's we already know how to do shadows. So you click on the pizza and then you go to effects and then you go to sorry, I think my phone is hanging. Okay. Can we still see my screen? The picture is not looking like the first one now, the positioning. Okay. So favor just give me a minute. I'm going to come back and adjust the picture of the picture we are seeing there. So shadows. So to put a shadow on it, you just use like something like a drop shadow if that's what you want. Now I don't think okay, maybe the shadow might be a good idea here. So I think it's a good idea. So someone was saying that it's not looking as sharp as the first one that we did. So that's because I think it's a little bit too big. Um, this I think is good enough. Abi, what do you guys think? I think it's fine like this. Yeah. Okay. So now, what do we do to the second pizza? The same thing. We upload the picture and basically do the same thing. Let me just lock this so I don't mistakenly move it because I like how it is situated. So again, to lock, come to three dots, click on lock, and that way you cannot move it mistakenly. So if I'm tapping around trying to move it, it won't move. And why I'm locking is because of this edge thing that we have here, so it doesn't mistakenly move. Okay. So again, for the second one, you come here, click on the image of the second pizza. You do all of the things you want to do. So for this one, maybe I might flip this image so that because the left part is lower than the right part, which is opposite here. So an easy way to fix that, you can either do this to rotate it, or if you want to quickly do that, you can just come here and go to flip. So once you click on flip, there's horizontal and vertical. All I have to do is click on horizontal, and that way it is flipped to the other side now, which is what we want. Do we do we understand how I got the flipping? Okay, great. So now that we since we got how we did the flipping, so now all we have to do here is cropping. So again, the same thing we did the last time. Move this. Oops, sorry. Why is this image not cropping? Um, sorry. There's something wrong with Canva. It's not bringing up the crop option, which is very strange. I'm going to. Okay, how did I do the flip? So to flip an element on Canva, the what you have to do is once you select the image. So let me upload the image again. 1 second. So again, you go to the image, click on it, and okay. So once you go to the image and then you go to flip, So you scroll to the at the bottom here, you see flip here. Let me press it down so you can see it's there. That's flip. So once you click on flip, there are two ways to flip. If you click on horizontal, it will flip the left part to the right part. If you click on vertical, it will flip the bottom to the top. So let me click on vertical now. You'll see that it is upside down now. Let me return that. And let me click on horizontal. If I click it, you see that the left side goes to the right side goes to the left. Now I'm noticing something that if I flip it, it might not allow me crop. Let me just be sure that that's something that happened. So I think why it is not allowing me crop is because of I flipped it. So let me undo that flip and see. Okay, so now I can crop well. So what I think I need to do here is crop first. So after I crop, I can now flip, which I don't think I still need to flip at this point. No, maybe so let me flip and see if it fixes what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I found it. I from just flipping around, I found what I wanted. So what I have to do again is the same thing I did the last time. Just make it sit well with the edge of the screen here. So let me zoom in very well so you see what I am doing. So you see the way it is. I just have to make it sit well here. Just close to the bottom. Okay, so this might be a little bit too much. So I'm going to make this image smaller. Let me try and go in again and see how to do that. Yeah, I think this is fine. Now it might not look exactly like this because the images, the way the shape, the orientation of the images, the way they were taken, and then the size of the images is not exactly the same. But then you just have to play around with it. If, say, for example, personally, what I would do in an image like this, I would use another software to like crop it. But I think for the sake of for this example, I think this is good enough where we can just accept this as a final result. So maybe let me just make this a little bit bigger so it covers that one a little bit more. And I think that is most of what we need to do here. So the remaining part, okay, I'm coming back to that question. So the remaining part is to add the logo here and then the text, which we already know how to do. So let me see how much time I have. I don't think we're spending time doing the first pizza is big. Yeah, so it could be that the first pizza is big. I can reduce the size of that first pizza and take it back up, which gives us plenty work again to try and align this. But anyway, okay, I think this is better actually. So thank you for the suggestion, Godson. So really, it's really just finding a picture that works as best as possible. So the difference in these two pizzas is that this one is round here, and then this one is kind of like oblong. I don't know. I think that's really the main difference. But in terms of like getting it, the only difference in these two pictures is that the two pictures, the pictures of the pizza that we used are different pictures. But we really like done exactly what they did to achieve this design, which I'm going to consider like a pass mark because I'm the one scoring myself. So basically, I'm not going to fail myself. So what else do we need to do here now? So now, in terms of for okay, I'm going to come back to this in our in later in today's class because I wanted us to see there's a problem here in this image, and the problem is that I want this phone and the pizza together to go a little bit more to the right because this part looks it looks this space here looks bigger than this one here. And now that is where grouping elements is going to come in. So once we look at grouping elements in our slides, I'm going to come back and then we'll use that knowledge to fix this image. Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. Does anyone have any question with this particular example that we just gave? I know there's still the text here, but I'm not adding text because I know all of you know how to add text already. So someone was saying we're using the upscale media to give our design to the dark look that the main design has. So the dark look that it has is really a matter of effect. So for example, I can go into this image now. I don't so you can use upscale design to upscale the file, like to upscale, so increase the size of it or make it more clear. But for the darkness that it has, is just there are two things you can do. Personally, I might just put like a little this thing. Sorry, I might put a picture on top of everything. If I wanted to get that dark look, I can just put something like this. It could even be like a gradient, for example. I can cover everything and then make it like black, for example. So once it is black, I use transparency. If the what I'm trying to achieve is that black and the darkness that it has, you can do something like this. So this is really you can this is an example of something you can use to get the dark look that the original image has. Or another thing you can do is to just use image effects, because the main thing here that has that dark look is this picture. So you select the picture, you go to effects and then or filter, sorry, you go to filters and just play around. You will find something that gives it. So maybe this, yeah, this kind of looks exactly like that one. And then you play with the intensity of it, so increase or decrease. So that way, that might be what would be the best way to give it the dark look that the original one has. Okay. All right. Any other questions with regards to this? Any questions? Okay, so no questions. So I think we all kind of we got how to do this. All right, so let's go back to the slides. And our time is really fast spent. I was hoping we were going to cover all of these things today, but I only have just about 30 minutes. And I was thinking today was going to be a short class so we can all go back to our weekends. But sorry, we got a little bit carried away with our assignment. Okay, so with that done, the next thing I wanted to teach us here was grouping elements. Now, what is grouping elements? Grouping elements is basically if you do presentation slides on something like presentation PPT on Microsoft, you would know about grouping. So grouping is like selecting elements on your page and then grouping them together so that they move together as one element. I know I've talked about it in the past, but now that we started designing a little bit like some complex designs now, you start to see why it is important to group elements. So what does grouping help us do? It helps with easy alignment and movement. So grouping allows you to move multiple elements together as a single unit. This is helpful for maintaining the alignment and structure of your designs. Now, what does that mean? That means that if you are trying to move things like the example that I gave in that design, where I want to move the pizza, you see how long we spent on aligning those pizzas, and I want to move them. So if I move, can please help us? Please, please can help us all. Sorry, I don't understand your comment, Godson. So if back to what I was saying, like the amount of time it took to align those pizzas on the phone, and if I wanted to move it now, that's another work I'm going to have to do again. But that is where grouping comes in. I can group all of them together on the phone. So if I'm moving it, it's just going to move as one element. That is what I mean by easy alignment and movement. Another thing is content resizing. Now, for example, if I look at that picture and I think it is too big, and I want to adjust it. If I did not group it, I'm going to go to the first pizza, resize it, phone, resize it, second pizza, resize it, which is really, really post what you're explaining in the group. Please, can you help us post what you're explaining in the group? Okay, got it. I'm going to show an example on this on the I'm going to go back to that page we're working on and then show an example. I don't know if that's what you mean, but for what I'm explaining with grouping, I'm going to go back and show an example. And then the last thing is templating. Okay, share the slides. Oh, okay, no problem. I'll share the slides. I'll share the slides on the group. Okay, templating. So it helps with duplicating elements to create repeated patterns or layers without having to recreate them manually. No problem, no problem. I'll share it on the group. Okay. So what that means is if you are designing for your brand, for example, and then there are some things that you want to always include. I mentioned it at the beginning of the class. So something like maybe your address, and you want to put your address on every design at the bottom of the page. You can just group it with So maybe you have like different elements. You can group it together with like maybe your social media handles and things. If you group it all together, it's very, very easy to move them across. So if you create something else, you can just copy it together as one element and move. So let me show you an example of how grouping is very helpful with the design that we had. So let's say on the design that we have now currently, I want to resize the size of this phone. So the first thing, when you are grouping, you have to make sure that all the elements that you locked, you have to unlock them. So what do I do here? I go to this phone. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a challenge because of my layers, but I can do this. So I can go to layers, for example. If I go to layers, I can click on the phone and then unlock it. So maybe if you have something like you have an element like this where you are trying to reach the elements behind, but because of the size of the things in front of it, you can always go to layers and then select it. So now I'm selecting on the phone here and I can just unlock it. So now that it is unlocked, what I can do is I can select all of them. So I select this one. I'm trying to group the images. So first, now let me first of all reduce the extra space that is on all of these designs. This one to reduce extra space. Okay. So now I have selected the, sorry, 1 second. Okay, so now the phone is selected. How do you group? I click on these three dots here and I click on select multiple. So if I click on this select multiple, now it's counting the things that I'm selecting. I click on the first pizza here and then I click on the second pizza. So now I've selected the three main things on this element and I just click on group. Why is that not coming up? Sorry, let me try that again. Um, okay, this is not giving me what I was supposed to be. So let me select again. Select multiple. So there's one, two, and then okay. So let's try that again. So I'm selecting the phone now. If I click on it and click on select multiple, select the first pizza here. For some reason, it's not bringing group, which is very strange. Okay, so what I can do at this point is I can group the two pizzas since it's not allowing me group the pizza with the phone. So I can just group the two pizzas. So select one, for example, select one, select the second one, and then I click on group. So if I click on this group here, now both of them are moving as one picture. So now all I have to do is move the phone to the edge here, and then I just move this one, and then just align it back to the way it was, which reduces the amount of work that we had to do. Now, ideally, what I wanted was to select all three of them together because it should allow you to do that. I don't know why it's not. Maybe it's glitching for some reason, but you should be able to like just select the phone and the pizza together, and then they are all one element, and then you can move them. The way I'm moving these two pizzas, oops, sorry. The way I'm moving these two pizzas together, oops. We are moving these two pizzas together. All the elements should be moving like that together. Let me see if I do it. Okay, so I think why it's not allowing me do that is because you might not be able to group um, mockups. So like the phone, for example, it's it's not allowing me group if like a mockup on a page. So that might just be it. But I'm sure I can do this on my laptop. But I think this is a problem with using Canva on the phone. But anyway, we get the concept that I was trying to explain here, where moving things like this, and also it's very very important in resizing. So let's say, for example, I think these pictures are too big. I can just scale them down, and then the two pictures together are scaling down together where I don't have to do it one after the other. And then the way they were arranged, it still maintains it. So now that I have reduced the size, I can go back here and use my rotating to even just still adjust them back to where I want it to be. And then that is really, this is like this still maintains what we have, and now we've shifted the design to where we want it to be. I think it's a little bit too much now, but basically the concept I just wanted to share was how we can group elements together. Now, this is not just something you can do with images, you can do it with anything. So for example, this exclusive deal thing now, I think it is too low or too high. I can just go here, click on select multiple and click on the background. That way I group two of them, and then I can move them anyhow I want to without worrying about like arranging them one after the other. Do we understand what grouping is now? You just let me know in chat that you understand what grouping is. Okay, all right. Great to hear that we understand what grouping is in this context. Locking elements. So I already showed what locking element is. It helps us prevent accidental edits. Say, for example, you like the design that we were doing, and then you don't want like, and it maybe took you so much time to arrange everything together on one line, and you don't want to have to go through that again. You can lock your elements. One thing you were locking very well is your background. So, say for example, we're designing something like something complex like this, for example, and then you have so like this person, what's your name? Fumilayo, she got this design from Pinterest. But let's imagine we were recreating this by ourselves. So we're adding all of these things one after the other. So there's the book, there's the stethoscope, there's the test tube, there's the jotter, there's the pencil, and then we arrange them by ourselves. But like the elements, individual elements that we put on the page. And you had to put the picture of the lady on top, you had to put this text on top. It would be very, very hard to do all of these things if you don't group. But if you select all of them together and then just group them and sorry, lock them. So once you lock them on the page, you won't have any of the problem of like having. So basically, once you lock them, it's like it's like your background. You don't have to deal with it anymore. It's no more your problem. So they are away from your sphere of concern, and then you can move on to other things that you want to edit. So that's why locking is very important. It's something that is going to be very useful for you as you start designing, because it's really one of those things that just makes your work easier when you are designing really complex elements. Um, so again, like I said, avoiding layer issues. So it minimizes the chance of mistakenly moving background elements when adjusting items on them. So see, for example, something like this now, like the example we saw, there's like up to like 30 elements here, for example, and they are all stacked on top of each other. So if you had to, you have done your background and all of them have taken their places in your layers, and then one of them mistakenly moves and other ones are covering it. So because of something, because you want to avoid something like that, it's easy to just lock all your elements that you are done with. So like if you have designed something and you want to move on from it, just lock it basically. It's not something you have to do on simple design. So like something like this one that we were doing now, it doesn't have like too many elements, so you might not have to spend time doing like a lot of locking here. But for when you're designing really complex things, you should always try to lock things that you are done with. Now, templating your brand elements. Now, this is something that we might have to move into the next class because it's like a lot of things to cover. So, what I wanted us to learn here is how do we like when we start designing for our brands. And I imagine a lot of us have started already like doing graphics for our brands and posting on social media and things. So when we have like a page, like we have like a file that we are designing elements on, and we want to have something like say, so maybe for example everything Panarotti does, they have this green thing here, and then they have something like T's and okay, so this T's and C's applies is like something that they want to put on every graphic that they are doing. So that's what templating comes in. You can make this T and C a template, but it's something that I'll be showing us in the next class, where you can just make this thing and then you can copy it and paste it in every design that you are doing. so that way you don't have to retype it every time. It also helps with your consistency, basically. So I will not be going too deep into this. We'll be starting with it when we come back next week. So I'll just moving on to our graphic design tool of the week, which is flaticon.com. So, for example, on Canva, if you are having problems where you are looking for an icon, for example, so maybe, for example, you want to add like a so maybe you want to add like your Instagram page here, for example. So you go to elements and then you type Instagram. So let me just show you an example. Instagram logo, and then you search, and then all of the elements you are seeing here are all paid elements. So you see it's all pro, and all the ones that are free, you don't like them because they are ugly. That's something Canva does very well. So an option that you have here is to go to a website like flaticon.com. So it's a website that helps you find free icons that you can upload and use on Canva. So how does that work? I'm going to open this website on my phone so you see how Flaticon works. flat.com. Okay. So what is coming up? Any questions? Okay, so I don't see any questions. So let me just demonstrate how Flaticon works. So once you are on the page, you can just search for Instagram logo. You click on done. So let it search. So it's going to bring up now every most besides like some logos that it like says are like premium ones, but most logos on these websites are free. So now this one, for example, on Canva here, we saw that it is a paid icon. So that one is pretty similar to this particular one that we have here. It's similar to this one, but then it is not free on Canva. You can just come here, click on this. Once you have it here, you select how you want to download it, whether it's PNG or SVG. Always just pick PNG because it's easier. Also, it gives you options. So if you want it in black and white, you can select that. If you want it like a little bit lighter, you can select that. If you want this, but this is what I wanted. So if you click on this, you just click on PNG here, and then free download. You just download it. So now you can use it basically like how we've been using images on Canva. So I can just go here since it is saved on my device. Instead of using the one that Canva wants me to pay for, I can just go here and sidestep that, go to uploads. So, you go to uploads from your device. I can never get things to download correctly on this phone for some reason. Let me download it again. Okay, while I download some, you said you wanted us to put us through the assignment, how it was achieved. Yes, I wanted to do that, but then we are supposed to close this class by 6 o'clock, and I'm trying to not extend it beyond the set time. So I don't think we have enough time to cover that. But maybe let's see what I can do. Let me just demonstrate this first of all. Okay. So what I'm trying to find is the image of the Instagram logo that I downloaded. So I don't personally use my iPhone a lot, so forgive me if you know how to help me find this image. But basically, we already get the concept of how to use Flaticon. You just download the icon and then you upload it and use it. So I'm trying to find it here, but it's not showing. But really, that's how it works. If you, what am I doing wrong? It should be in my file. I know it should be in my file, right? But for some reason I can't find it. So I don't think it downloaded. But anyway, I'm sure you not in pictures gallery. Okay, let me okay, so choose files, Abby. Yeah, but it's not here. I didn't save it from Safari. Okay, you know what? I I give up, right? I imagine you know how to download on this. I personally use Android, so I know how to do it on my Android phone, but I imagine everyone on this class is probably better at this than I am. So all I have to do there is just click on it, upload it back to Canva, and then just use it in place of the Instagram logo on Elements page. Right. So I think that it's once you download it, you click on it and save it to your photo. I tried to do that, it's not working for some reason. I am really this is making me feel very, very old. Okay, let's try again. Maybe it's because of I'm not using Safari. I'm using Brave browser. Is that a reason why? Okay, so I've clicked on download. So you should help me, please. What do I do now? I can try Safari. Okay, so this is it here. Am I supposed to save it again? Okay, let me. I think maybe I'll save it again. So okay, I think that should be saved now. You people should save me from Apple. Really, I really don't understand how to do so many things on this phone. But anyway, um, uploads, device, photo library. Hopefully, this should work. Okay, hallelujah. We have it here. Thank you very much for putting me through this. Um, it's very, very clear. It's not blurry or gram or whatever. And then it's in place of this to download a account. I was asking for money. Anyway, I think we've gotten the gist of this. So now, gotten is saying I should dash in my phone. No, no, no. It still has its small uses. It has its small uses. I still use it for some things. Right. Okay. We don't have time to cover that assignment. I would really have liked to show it. I don't want to promise to make a video because I cannot promise I'll make a video on it. But okay, maybe next class I'll just run like I'll do a speed run through it. Like when we start the class next week, I'll just do a speed run through it. I won't spend a lot of time explaining how to do it. But I imagine from how we from the things we did today, you should be able to get like how to achieve that because it's really a lot like easier. It's an easier design to achieve than what we have here. Thank you, praise. I'm better now, so I'm feeling a lot better now. So thank you very much for asking. I think without in the absence of any question, I think that will be the end of the class for today. Does anyone have any question? Okay. Okay, I don't think we have no, since you already had, so we have two assigned. Okay, you know what the assignment is going to be? This design that we did today. I want everyone to recreate it. Basically, this Panarotti one again. Panarotti should really hire us as brand ambassadors because we are really promoting their brand in this class. But I also want everyone to recreate this design. So do the same thing with the pizzas and everything. So let's take it. Let's make it Panarotti because I want the challenging thing is this phone thing. So I want everyone to try and attempt it. Yes, I'll send it to the group. I'll send it to the group with the link and instructions on what to do. I think that is everything for today. Thank you very much for attending. It's always great to be here. I appreciate all of your feedback and comments on the chat. So looking forward to seeing you again next week. So I'll put the instructions for the assignment on the group. So Godwin, I think that's everything from me. Hi Godwin.
Hi, Gordon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah.
That was an amazing session. So you mentioned, are you going to give them assignments or have you done that already? You are
This
muted,
this
Audrey.
picture, the picture that we did in class today. So I'm going to send the instructions and the link on the group today.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to mention, guys, we have a recap session on YouTube. So once in a while, it'd be nice for you guys to just check our YouTube page. Maybe you forgot how to do a particular thing and you just want to refresh your memory, or you have friends that were not able to join the live session and you want them to, get along with the training session. You can just go to our YouTube page, Adara Foundation. We have a recorded section of all the training that have started from the beginning, even right from mobile photography. And we're always going to be updating it, as we progress in the course of the trainings. Like I mentioned yesterday, so Clement, I don't know if you're on the WhatsApp platform. If you are there, you can ask a question there. I'll put a YouTube link. But if you're not on the WhatsApp platform, I think so maybe you can drop your number. Our community managers will text you and share you a link. And like I mentioned, we're about to start just after we're running up our graphic design module. We're going to be starting social media management very soon. I hope everyone is excited to, jump on that course. And it's going to be a really exciting program. Um, also, please kindly follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn. One of the reasons why I asked you guys to follow us on social media is because not just because we want to grow our followers or any of that, it's because we have other exciting programs that we're running. And it would be nice for you to get informed because when you are following us on social media, you can always get first-hand information about these programs before any other person. And yes, we're looking forward to have you guys join us next weekend as we consider the graphic design training. Don't forget the class opens by 4:15 and by 6 we are done. And please, if you okay, I think somebody has dropped his number there. So our community manager is on the call. Juliet, please maybe take a screenshot of that number before we end the webinar so that you can send them the WhatsApp link. Okay, any other person that wants to join, please just keep dropping your numbers. And yeah, so we'll see you guys again this weekend. Also, please do your assignment. I told you we always have a culture of rewarding people that perform outstanding well in the assignments. The ones that did well last weekend, they were rewarded, and we also have more packages for those that do well moving forward. Just a way of encouraging you guys to keep the fire burning. Julius, just to confirm, I'm able to take a screenshot of these numbers before I end the webinar. So yeah, that'll be all from us. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. I look forward to having you next weekend.